When I found you, the moon stood still on Blueberry Hill, and lingered until my dreams came true. Hey, the wind in the willow plays a lot of sweet melody. Never to be. Oh, we're apart. You're part of me still. For you were my thrill. All Blueberry Hill. All playing the voice. It's like Gladstone.
What's your name?
My name is Andrew Eisenberg.
And what are you doing here?
I'm a volunteer for SPEC, the Society Promoting Environmental Conservation.
And what is the SPEC preaching here today?
Well, our current campaign is the Better Transit Not Freeways campaign, and today we have a petition where we're urging Premier Gordon Campbell not to twin the Port Mann Bridge. We think that this is a very short-sighted idea, and that in the long term it's just going to increase sprawl and increase traffic rather than have any long-term solutions.
Right. We have a website called pacific.ca. We have also a website called nowpolling.ca. And one of the questions that we have there, we have over 100 questions, but one of the questions is precisely this twinning of the Port Mann Bridge. Do you think that people should go to this website and vote against it?
I think it'd be really good. I think people should be looking at all the information, reading up on it, and I hope that, I haven't been to your website, but I hope that you have information about what's going on, what the issues are. People can read up on themselves, for themselves, and vote on it.
You will go to nowpolling.ca?
Yes, I will.
All right. What do you think about another question that we have there is about perpetual elections? A computerized system where people can go and vote on issues as well as on politicians all the time. What do you think about that?
It's very intriguing. I like the idea that there's more accountability for politicians. It seems that once they get into office, they can do whatever they want until there's the re-election, and then 3 months before the election they start doing good things again. There needs to be continual accountability. So I'm intrigued by the issue. I don't know enough about it to say yes or no, but it sounds really good.
Most politicians don't like the idea because they think that they're accountable. But the argument is that once you put your vote in the ballot box, you're given your right to make any more decisions until the next election.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that's probably largely true. And I think they should be constantly thinking about whether or not what they're doing is actually in the best interest of the people.
So this issue of better transit, for instance, would have people going and voting, and I'm pretty sure that most people would be with you rather than with the government's proposition of twinning the bridge.
I hope so. It seems, from what I've heard so far, that on the issue in particular of the Gateway project, the BC, all of BC is split about 50-50, but once you start talking about transit, the split becomes 73 for transit and 27 against. So we believe that we are framing the issue in terms of transit, and that's really what we're pushing for. And transit should come first, and if it's still necessary after that, okay, then you can talk about road expansion. But the most important issue is making sure that people can get where they want to go without using their cars.
Another question at nowpolling.ca. We have the sign over there, nowpolling.ca. Another question there is about shifting the fare box part of the TransLink budget and to other taxes like property taxes, business taxes, gasoline taxes, ICBC insurance levy, hydro and parking taxes and all that, and abolish the fare box. Do you think that would be a good idea?
Abolish the fare. Oh, we're talking about
Free buses.
free buses, but pay for it in other ways. I think it's a very intriguing idea, and I have read a bit about it. It seems like it would be an excellent thing to try. At least, okay. I say right now to just simply snap your fingers and get rid of fares might not be a good thing, but I think in the it might be a very good long-term solution. I know downtown Seattle has a free fare zone.
Do they say it's not a good thing?
Seattle? In Seattle, from what I've heard, they love it.
They love it. In Calgary, do they think in downtown Calgary they say it's not a good thing?
I don't know about Calgary. I haven't heard about it, but okay. And oh, that's great. And I think that's something that should definitely be done in Vancouver. If that becomes a success, expand it. And if it works well, get rid of fares completely and have it paid in other ways.
So you would say that is there some danger in doing it?
There is danger in the fact that everything that I've read about it so far is that if it becomes too popular too quickly, buses become overcrowded, and if it becomes overcrowded, people lose faith in the transit system.
So you're a little bit weary about how fast it's implemented, but you're not against the idea of having free buses.
I like the idea in theory. I think it'd be great if we could implement it, but we have to take it slowly just because of the overcrowding issue. If it becomes too popular too quickly, people will lose faith in the transit.
Okay, so if we started, say, line by line, say we started with Hastings bus, so Hastings bus goes free, do you think that would help the traffic congestion from cars because most people will be taking the bus instead of driving?
I think there's a good argument for that. I don't know exactly, but I think a good argument for that.
It would be the greatest solution for your cause of better transit, not freeways.
Yes, and but the most important thing is not that I think we have relatively good transit within Vancouver. We need to be focusing on transit outside of Vancouver, in the suburbs, in Coquitlam, in Burnaby, in Maple Ridge, in Port Moody. They don't have anything out there.
We have to start somewhere.
Yes, we do.
And we're here.
We are here.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Wish you well.
Thank you. That guy.
Your name is?
Carol.
Carol.
Moiseyevich.
Okay, and you're involved with a boycott on chapters in Indigo, and this has to do with the Israeli occupation, I presume. So,
Palestine, yes.
can you tell us a little bit more about why do you come to that conclusion?
I've been to Palestine 3 times and spent quite a lot of time there, and I've seen the brutality of the occupation. And so when I'm back here, I do anything that I can to help end the misery of it for the Palestinians. And Chapters is one of the many corporations in North America that actually supports the occupation by sending money to their troops. They are the soldiers who come from outside Israel, mercenaries if you like, and they send money to support them.
And how do you know that Chapter is sending that money to the
Heather
Israelis?
Reisman is absolutely open about this.
Oh, she has said it herself.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. And of course you think that that's an illegal action, what they're doing in Israel.
It is illegal according to the UN. It's illegal what they're doing to take land by war, to occupy it, to take water, to brutalize the people, to demolish their houses, to steal their land, to not let them back. All of this is illegal, yes, by the UN, by the Charter of the United Nations.
Have you seen our website called nowpolling.ca?
I haven't, I'm sorry, no.
Okay, one of the questions there is precisely Israel.
Oh, is it?
And some of the suggestions that are there are to boycott products. That is one of them, and another one is to break relations with the government of Israel. In other words, to send ambassador
Yes.
back. And I wonder if you would go to this nowpolling.ca and or encourage people to go there
will.
and vote for that issue.
I will do that, definitely. I will tell people about nowpolling.ca, and I'll tell people at our next meeting what
Good.
you're doing. That's great.
Well, we're selling books for the street festival. We always participate in it. This is a people's movement.
What do you think about the idea of voters being able to recall their candidates anytime through a perpetual electoral system, computerized electoral system?
Well, it depends on whether the one they wanted to recall was my representative or my political party. I would be opposed to that, but it was someone like Gordon Campbell, I would be all for it then to do it.
Well, the recall system says that you can recast your vote, so you don't have to vote against your candidate. You can just reaffirm. For instance, in Venezuela, you had a recall to Chavez, and most people went and voted again for Chavez. So it's just a reaffirmation that that is the candidate that should be the politician. Would you like that?
Well, that has its benefit. That would be beneficial, or I could support that. But I mean, I'd like to make sure that it wasn't abused, though, because if the opposition that lost the election used it to continuously try and run recall campaigns against the same person, you know, every 3 or 4 months or so, nothing would ever get done.
All right. Now, do you think that if the opposition was greater than those who support, shouldn't that person step down anyway?
Well, sir, I would think so. For that, I think when there's no confidence in the person, but if it's just only 20% of the vote, and they just keep churning over the referendum every few months, well, then there's a point to which where do you put an end to efforts to recall someone? Is there?
Do you think there are any politicians right now that you would like to recall?
Oh, well, I could start with people like Gordon Campbell, I think from the day he was elected.
But you didn't vote for him in the first place, so you couldn't recall him.
And in the citywide elections, there's a lot of MPA turkeys at all, you know, the city council level, the parks board, you know, and whatever, you know, that should be.
Do you think that if there was a recall legislation municipally, some of those councillors would be turfed out of office?
I don't think they would have any defense that would justify them staying in office, really.
So you would like to have recall municipally then?
Oh, yes, yes. I think, is it 3 years that they're in power? Some might say that's too long.
If you had the right to recall them right now, you would?
Oh, yes. Yes, I would.
It's using the occasion of the visit to Canada of Bush and Calderon of Mexico, and it will make some demands. Troops out of Afghanistan and Iraq, stop the destruction of our environment, dump the Security and Prosperity Partnership. And, okay. So I guess it's, as I read it, it's just this is a suitable occasion in which to discuss these issues with people and take this ceremonial kind of occasion and turn it into a discussion of actual issues.
And why should people do that?
Why should they? Because it cannot be left to a handful of people to decide the fate of the earth, especially a handful that may not have that as its top priority. So it's if we're going to do anything, more people need to be active.
You're saying that that handful of people are not really representing the majority of the people?
Well, that's a start, and even those who have goodwill will not have the power to act without more of us becoming active.
Have you seen a website called nowpolling.ca?
I've got the calendar.
And have you gone and registered your vote there?
No, I haven't. I haven't registered any votes. No.
Are you willing to, in the near future, go and vote, register your opinion?
You know, I'm trying to remember. I may have gone there some months ago to register. Yeah.
Register your opinion on nowpolling.ca. The latest municipal poll is a Vancouver issue. The Vancouver workers strike. Should the Vancouver Council accept the traditional 36 months labor contract, or should the labor give a special concession of 39 months on behalf of the 2010 Olympics? Let your vote be counted.